10 kilometers from the Eiffel Tower, there is a place that tourists never see. It has no cafes, no wide golden boulevards, no postcards. It is called Bondy. And in Bondy, there is one rule that everyone knows. Nobody escapes. Unemployment sits above 20%. Drug networks run through every housing estate. Boys grow up fast because they have to. The streets offer two paths, the easy one and the right one, and they are almost never the same road. In 1998, a boy was born in Bondy. His father, Wilfried, was a local football coach, not a professional one, a man who spent his own money teaching neighborhood kids how to play. His mother, Faiza, had been a professional handball player. Together, they understood one thing. In a place like Bondy, sport was not just a game. It was the only way out. The boy's name was Kylian Mbappé, and at 19 years old, he stood in a stadium in Moscow in front of 1.1 billion people, scored in a World Cup final, and became only the second teenager in history to do it. The first was Pelé in 1958, 60 years before. This is the story of how a boy from the streets that nobody escapes became the most valuable footballer on the planet, and what his father gave up to make it happen. There was no grass, no proper goalposts, no coaches with clipboards, no academy fees, no professional setup of any kind, just concrete, a ball, and the boys from the neighborhood. Kylian Mbappé played there every day from the age of 6, hours at a time, until his feet hurt, until his mother called him in, until the light disappeared and he could not see the ball anymore. And from the very beginning, every coach who watched him had the same reaction. This boy's is different. Not better, different. The way the game seemed to slow down for him when it sped up for everyone else. The way the ball stayed at his feet like it had decided to stay there. The way he saw the pass before the space existed. When Kylian was 7 years old, he watched a Ronaldo interview on television. Ronaldo was talking about wanting to be the best player in the world. Kylian turned to his father. He said, "I want to be better than Ronaldo." Wilfried did not laugh. He did not tell his son to be realistic. He did not remind him that they lived in Bondy and that boys from Bondy did not become better than Ronaldo. He said, "Then you will have to work harder than anyone alive." Kylian nodded. He went outside. He practiced until it was dark. Kylian Mbappé was 11 years old. By this point, word had spread across French football. Coaches were calling each other. Scouts were making trips to watch a boy from Bondy who was doing things that boys his age simply did not do. And then the call came from further away than anyone expected. Real Madrid, the biggest football club on earth. The Bernabeu, the Galacticos, the club that every player on the planet dreams of. They had heard about the boy from Bondy. They wanted to see him. They flew Kylian and his father Wilfried to Madrid. For 1 week, Kylian trained with Real Madrid's youth academy. The coaches watched. Every single day they watched. And every single day, the reaction was the same. Sign him, now, before someone else does. At the end of the week, Real Madrid sat down with Wilfried. They made their offer. Every father on earth dreams of hearing those words from that club. Wilfried heard them, and then he said no. He took Kylian home to Bondy. His reason was not about money, not about the contract, not about the terms. It was son as 11 years old. He needs his family. He needs his home. He needs his roots. No football club in the world can give him what he will lose if he leaves now. Kylian did not argue, did not cry, did not complain. He went back to the concrete pitch. Real Madrid could wait. First, he had to become who he needed to become. 2 years later, at 14, Mbappé was selected for Clairefontaine, France's national football academy, the most elite youth program in the country, the place where France's greatest players have been shaped for decades. He arrived and did what he had always done on the concrete pitch in Bondy. He stands after sessions ended. He asked coaches questions that other boys did not think to ask. He watched footage of his own movement and identified the things that were .com today. He trained the specific details, the angle of a run, the tops before a shot. From Clairefontaine, he moved to Monaco's academy. On December 2nd, 2015, at 16 years and 347 days old, Kylian Mbappé made his professional debut for AS Monaco. He's not nervous. He had been preparing for this moment since he was 6 years old on a concrete pitch with more grass and working hospitals. Quick pause here. If you're watching this and thinking, wow, I want to make videos exactly like this, then I have something for you. I created created this entire video using free AI tools in just 4 to 5 hours. No team, no expensive software, no camera, just a system I built myself. The same system behind my channel that got 2.9 million views and made $31,000 from one single video. I've put everything inside one complete course. Every tool, every prompt, every single step. Link is in the description. It's $100 right now. Launch price. Go grab it and start your first video today. 2018. Russia, France are at the World Cup, and Kylian Mbappé, a 19-year-old boy from the streets of Bondy, is in the squad. Think about that for a moment. The boy whose father said no to Real Madrid. The boy who trained on concrete because there was no grass. The boy from the neighborhood where nobody escapes. He is at the World Cup. Round of 16, France versus Argentina. Messi's Argentina. The most experienced squad in the tournament. Players who had won everything at club level. A team built to go all the way. Mbappé walked onto the pitch, and for 90 minutes, he made Argentina's defenders look like they were playing against someone from a different sport. His speed was not just fast, it was a different category of fast. Defenders who lunged at him found he was already gone, already past them, already accelerating in a direction their bodies could not follow. He won a penalty. He scored twice. Messi's Argentina was eliminated. Mbappé was 19 years old. France reached the final. July 15th, 2018, Moscow, Luzhniki Stadium, France versus Croatia, the World Cup final. 1.1 billion people watching across the planet, and in the stands, Wilfried Mbappé was watching. The man who said no to Real Madrid, the local coach from Bondy who spent his own money on other people's children, the father who brought his son home from Madrid at 11 because he believed roots mattered more than opportunity. He was watching his son play in a World Cup final. 65th minute, Mbappé received the ball 25 meters from goal. He shot, it went in. The stadium erupted. He was the second teenager in World Cup history to score in a final. The first was Pelé in 1958, 60 years before. France won 4-2. Kylian Mbappé was a world champion at 19. And in Bondy, on the concrete pitch where it all started, people who had watched this boy grow up stood together and felt something that Bondy did not feel very often. Pride. Pure, overwhelming, impossible pride. After the World Cup, Mbappé became the biggest star in French football. Records fell. Goals came. PSG. Then Real Madrid, the club his father had made wait for 8 years. The Bernabeu, the stage that had been reserved for him since he was ready for it. But one thing never changed. After every match, every single match, Kylian Mbappé calls his father, not his agent, not his PR team, not his brand manager, his father. Wilfried Mbappé still lives in Bondy, still coaches youth football, still works with boys from the neighborhood, still believes that what he gave his son, the decision to say no to Real Madrid, the concrete pitch, the roots, was worth more than any academy in the world. In 2022, Kylian went back to Bondy. He walked onto the concrete pitch where he had first learned to play. He sat with the boys from the neighborhood. For a moment, he was not a World Cup winner or a Real Madrid star. He was just a boy from Bondy. He told them what his father had told him when he was 7. Talent is just the beginning. Work. Never stop. Then he stood up and went back to Madrid. Bondy still has 20% unemployment. The drug networks are still there. The housing estates, the 2 roads, the easy one and the right one that are never the same path. But Bondy has something now that it did not have before. A name. Kylian Mbappé, the boy who grew up with nothing, whose father turned down Real Madrid because family mattered more than football, who trained on concrete because there was no grass, who decided at 7 years old that he would be better than Ronaldo, and then spent 12 years making it true. In 2026, the World Cup comes to North America. Mbappé will be 27, the peak of his career, the captain of France, the most dangerous
greatest footballer on the planet. And Bondy will watch again, because that is what Bondy does now. It watches its own, the one who proved the only thing that was ever really true. Nobody escapes Bondy, except the ones who decide they will. Wilfred said no to Real Madrid in 2009 because he knew his son was not ready. Kylian decided at 7 that equal then he worth every day without stopping. From a concrete pitch with no grass to the Bernabeu, from Bondy to the World Cup. One boy, one decision, one father who believed that roots grow before wings, and the rest is history.